Welcome back, Saline, to this year's first episode of SHS Today. This week, we march down to Disney, take a 360-degree look at people around Saline, and go back in time at Saline High. All this and more on this episode of SHS Today. Hello, Saline. Welcome to the first show of the new year. We hope 2020 is treating you well and you haven't given up on your New Year's resolutions yet. I'm John Harrell.
And I'm Barron. Let's get started with the show.
Last month, members of the marching band and orchestra took a trip down to the happiest place on earth. Max Burchell tells us more about this experience.
Disney World is known for being a seemingly magical place. Last month, the Saline Marching Band got to experience this magic when they went to march in the Magic Kingdom.
So the first year we did it, we really weren't sure what the experience would be like, and it was such a great experience in that venue where you're really performing for people all over the world that we wanted to do that again, and so that became a tradition for us. That was the 6th time we've done it. So the first thing is we had to pass an audition, so you have to have recordings of the band performing both in marching and at a halftime show, and you have to send those immediately before you even actually get accepted to earn a spot to perform. After that, there's quite a bit of rules as far as what you're allowed to play, how long it has to be, but those are just a few of many rules, including your uniform.
It was a different experience for the band from marching at Hornet Stadium to marching at Disney.
It was such a surreal experience. The first turn, when you turn onto Main Street and you just look at the castle and you realize where you are. I'm supposed to cue the band to play the song, and I was so taken over by it that I didn't do it, and Holden had to do it for me.
The band wasn't the only ones who went on the trip.
I'm a big Disney fan, so I thought, what an opportunity to see our band march down Magic Kingdom. It was exciting to me just to be part of that.
For many of the band members, the Disney experience was enhanced by being with their friends.
It was the first time I'd ever been able to go on a huge trip somewhere else where a bunch of cool planned things happened with just my friends. And it took the experience the next level up. I don't think I had one negative memory at Disney from this past trip, just because I was with my friends.
As fun and exciting as the trip was, the band landed back in Michigan December 16th, completely exhausted. Performing at Disney World really is such an amazing experience that very few get to have. I'm Max Burchell, back to you in the studio.
Looks like you guys had an amazing time, and thank you for doing such a great job of representing Saline High School down in Florida.
All sophomores and juniors are now able to apply for the Miss Saline Scholarship. It's a $2,000 scholarship and is open until May 1st. Miss Saline 2020 will be crowned on August 8th at the Saline Summerfest, and the runners-up will receive a scholarship as well. If you want to apply, make sure you visit www.misssalinescholarship.weebly.com.
Depending on how long you've watched SHS Today, you may have noticed by now we do a lot of normal interviews. But today we deliver you a new and exciting way of interviewing someone. An interview where we set up 6 different cameras that will take you on a full lap around both the interviewer and the interviewee. We introduce you to Saline 360.
Welcome to Saline 360. I'm your host Tina Pham, and today I'm introducing you to Mallory Bowe. Let's do a super basic question. Okay. Coke or Pepsi?
Coke.
Cats or dogs?
Definitely dogs.
Would you rather read minds or control minds?
Read minds. I think what people think naturally is really interesting.
High school or middle school?
Middle school.
Winter or summer?
Summer. Definitely summer.
Are you an early bird or a night owl?
Early bird.
Fruits or vegetables?
Oh gosh, probably fruits actually.
Okay, that's it for Saline 360. I'm your host, Tina Pham, and I'll see you back in the studio.
Look forward to seeing more of this in the future, and if you are interested in being in one of these exclusive interviews yourself, contact Mr. Bush in room C244 for more information.
The annual Polar Plunge is upon us and registration is now open. Here's a quick informational video to tell you more.
The Washtenaw County Polar Plunge, which is a fundraiser for Washtenaw Special Olympics organization, will be taking place inside Michigan Stadium on Friday, February 21st. The plunge actually begins at 8 p.m., but registration is at 6:30. Since the registration is rather confusing, there will be 2 sign-up sessions in Mrs. Fair's room before and after school tomorrow on January 23rd. at 7:15 and 2:45. Take the plunge, or just donate, or why not both?
Thanks, Max. Remember, if you want help registering or you would like to go donate down to Miss Fair's room, C107 tomorrow at 7:15 a.m. and 2:45 p.m.
Now, we've had a lot of good times over the years here at Saline High School, and especially in SHS Today. Seeing as it's the end of one incredible and interesting decade, let's go to Ellie Mahalik as she takes us on a look into the past 10 years at Saline High.
What up, Saline? I'm Giancarlo Lopez here with Haley Green.
We have Mad Mike in a movie review and an outlook on the new mural on this episode of SHS Today.
Now that it's a new decade, SHS Today wanted to take a trip on a time machine and look back at the past 10 years at Saline High.
There's not one thing that stands out, but there's definitely been a lot of change over the last 10 years. There have been 3 different high school principals in the last 10 years.
From the 2007 to 2008 school year until 2011, Ben Williams was the SHS principal. Then, in 2012, Mr. Eric Dieroff became the principal.
And I'm just happy and excited about the opportunity to do it in Saline.
Then I Miss Julie Helberg in 2013, with Mr. Raft finally arriving in the 2016-2017 school year. But principals aren't the only thing that has changed.
There's blended learning and online learning. Oh, online learning. That's been a huge change over the last 10 years also. A lot of students wanting to do online learning because they want to set their pace and they want to get done with the class quicker.
We didn't have any blended classes, and students are always off kind of doing whatever they're doing, which is really good because it's kind of turning it into a little bit of a college atmosphere where students are taking some responsibility for themselves and they have freedom to do different things and they're not just fit into this box of what a classroom is supposed to be.
Mr. Smith has seen many changes between his time as a student and his time as a teacher.
The building space that we have is totally different. The commons area is totally revamped with the Hornet Hub and things like that. The whole bridge area is totally different. That used to be like the office where the administration was up there and everything, and now we have a lot of spaces for students to go and do their own thing. I've had a lot of people ask me, like, why would I ever want to come back to Saline after teaching or after going to school here? Why would I want to come back and teach here? There are so many opportunities out in the world, but you really only get one hometown, and that hometown always kind of stays the same. And that's what I've seen over the last decade is there's a million opportunities, but you only get one hometown, so do the best you can to make it good.
Saline schools were quite different back in the day. As you look around the halls, ask yourself, who could be the next generation of Saline High School teachers, and how will Saline High School have changed by then? I'm Aaron Leonard with SHS Today. Back to you, studio.
Thank you, Ellie, for taking us back to the good old days. It's really cool to see how Saline High School has changed over the decade, and I can't wait to see how it improves in the future.
Something special has been in the works here at Saline. The question is, do you want to be part of something big? That looks incredible. I can't wait to see how this turns out. If you want to be a part of this project, contact Evan Shunk at shunke@salinehornets.org to get more information. We're all out of time for this episode. We hope you enjoyed the show. I'm John Harrell.
And I'm Lucas Barron. Tune in next week during Hornet Time for the latest episode of Hornet Nation, where they bring you stories about gymnastics, a dynamic duo, and wrestling.
Make sure to follow us on Instagram at Saline Video or Twitter at SHS Today. Have a great week, Hornets.